Good morning, folks. Thanks for tuning in to another video today. So, as you can tell, we're out here in the woods, so get outside, right? So tonight what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a quick little overnight camp out. Tonight I've got a new pack I've been trying out. As you can see here, this is a new pack by that I just recently bought by High Range Outdoors out of Australia. This is their MR40 pack. So lots of again, lots of modularity and versatility to this pack, so stay tuned for that review in another video. It'll be coming later on once I've tested this pack out some more. But so tonight, what we're going to do today is clean up an area over near my camp. I'm going to do a little bushcraft wool blanket overnight tarp camping, I think. So that's what we're going to do today. That's kind of what's on the agenda this morning. It's kind of cool out here this morning. Right now it's like 33 degrees, and it's supposed to warm up throughout the day to like 54, and then tonight, the low tonight is supposed to be like 40, 42 ish or so. They keep changing it. It was going to be 30, now it's up to like 40, so who knows. And then tomorrow there's actually a winter storm moving in tomorrow, which we're supposed to get like a trace amount of snow, but it's bringing in like brutally cold weather. For down here in the south, it's bringing in, like, for Wednesday morning, the low is like 15, I think, for my part of the south that I live in. So, but anyway, so let's get over here to camp. Let's start cleaning some stuff up. That's what we're going to do today. So thanks for watching today. My name is Chris. You're watching Skills to Survive, and hopefully this will be another good video. Overnight camp out. Thanks for watching. Alright, let me show you the progress I made so far. I cleaned up this area here. As you can tell, I'd already raked some of this stuff up about a week ago. I was cleaning up around down here in the anticipation of doing this camp out, and so I'd already started cleaning that up. So what I did was, over here, I packed up all these pine needles here and pine straw that I raked, and that's about 8 inches or so thick of pine straw, so that's going to make a nice bed, and of course it's going to compress pretty good. My shelter is going to be the Bushcraft Outfitters Koretemp. As you've seen in the previous video, I did a review of that. I'll put a link in, up here somewhere. So in that video I also said that this shelter is so versatile. So what I'm going to try to do is, I also said in that video that you can set this shelter up to do a super shelter. So what I'm going to do tonight, since I'm doing a wool blanket camp out, is I'm going to do a modified super shelter. I'm not going to put the plastic down in the front like you normally would on a super shelter. So what I did do is, in the back here, I hung one of my grabber space blankets. So I hung one of those up back there. Again, I'm not going to put the plastic in the front, so it's going to be like a modified super shelter. And then I created my fire pit right out front here, as you can tell. And then what I'm going to do now is, I got this piece of Reflectix that I had down in the basement. I use Reflectix for different things, and I think what I'm going to do, instead of making a wood reflector wall, I think I'm going to use that Reflectix and try to do a reflector wall out of that and see how well it does. I know a lot of people use the Reflectix in the wintertime because it has just multiple different uses, and Shane Coffey said it's just great. So I'm going to try to do that, and that'll save me some time of having to cut wood and make a retaining wall and a reflector wall and stuff like that too. So I'm going to get that set up, and like I said, there's my shelter. There's the High Range Outfitters, or High Range Outdoors pack. So I did bring out the wheelbarrow today, just because I have the chainsaw and stuff like that. So I'm going to cut up some wood, because I can't be out here all day. I come out here today. I'm gonna set up my camp and stuff, and then I have some, other things I got to do at the house and whatnot. I got to pick up my daughter from school and stuff like that. So once I get finished cutting up wood and getting everything ready for tonight, I'll come back out here tonight. But I'll bring you back here in just a few minutes. Let me get this reflector wall set up and some other things. I'll bring you back in just a few minutes. All right, I thought I'd show you the progress that I've made so far. So I got my bed pretty much ready. Another grabber space blanket down on there. I got my there's a ridge rest, Thermarest ridge rest, closed cell foam pad under there, and then I have my Snug Pack Base Camp ops pad on top of that. And then the only thing that's not there is my wool blanket, and I'll bring it out later, as well as my bivy, my Gore-Tex bivy from the military sleep system. I love that thing. I like using it, so I'm going to use that as well. I got a my little shepherd's hook that I went over to my camp and got, and I hung my little 10-cup whiskey lantern that I made. So I hung it up there, brought over a giant part of a tree, big log, to kind of sit on, have something to kind of sit on. And again, underneath there's about 8 inches of pine straw and stuff like that, so that's going to compress down a little bit. There's my firewood pile. I spent about an hour gathering firewood and stuff, so I think that's going to be okay for the night. Here's the reflector wall. So I got it put up and made, and I just zip tied it together. So I thought I'd try that out, like I said before. And here's kind of my fire lay. I'm going to try one of those upside down fire lays. This is kind of a semi upside down fire lay. I'm going to try it out and see, and have a little fire starter in there, and I'm going to put some fire strip roll in there as well, because tonight, when I come back out tonight, I want to be able to start this thing up. I don't want to be messing around with it. So I do have a good stack of firewood there, and then over here in the corner I have a stack of small kindling and stuff too. So if the fire goes out in the middle of the night or in the morning, if I want to start the fire back in the morning, I'll have some wood to do that. So that's pretty much it for right now, and I'll probably just bring you back later on tonight when I come back out tonight. So stay tuned for that. I'm going to try to not make this video too long, so I'll see y'all guys back tonight. Well, as you can tell, I made it back down here to camp tonight. It's about 10 o'clock right now, so like I said, I had a lot of stuff to do during the day. So this morning I just had to come out here and get stuff set up and come back out tonight. But got the fire going, and got my little 10-cup whiskey candle lantern going that I made. So yeah, so I'm just going to tidy up things around here, my pack and stuff, and get everything kind of tidied up. As you can see, I took my jacket off. I'm in short sleeves. It's only like 50 degrees right now, so it's still actually pretty warm. And this fire, it's hot. So, but I'll bring it back in a few minutes. Let me get some stuff straightened up, and I'll bring it back here in just a few minutes. All right, welcome back. So I got kind of camp tidied up just a little bit. Right now I left my backpack in my wheelbarrow. I did bring it back down again tonight because I just threw my pack in there and my blanket and stuff like that. Just threw it in there because it's just easier just to wheel it down with that. So a few reasons for this camp out. One is that I just needed to get out. I wanted to get out and do a little camp out. And two, like I said before, I wanted to test this Koretemp Shelter as like a semi-super shelter, just using the reflective back instead of the front as well. And so I wanted to test that out. I also wanted to do a wool blanket camp out. I've never actually camped out like this, wild camping, overnight camping with my wool blanket. Now I've always, or a lot of times I use my wool blanket when I go camping in my tent and stuff like that, but I've never really used it as my sole purpose of cover, and I usually use a sleeping bag. So this is, I wanted to try it out as well. Have to pardon me, the wind's kind of picking up a little bit, so I'm trying to watch this fire, because even though it did rain a few days ago, it's still, some of this stuff is still dry. So anyway, so I wanted to also test out this this kind of semi upside down fire. I call it semi upside down fire because I didn't make it really tall. I just wanted to test it out. So right now it's actually doing really well. I'm liking this fire. I think it'd be a good fire for, you know, like the, you know, for just sitting here like I am now, not cooking or anything. If I was cooking or something, I'd have to do maybe a different type of a fire. But I think this type of a fire, you know, it's lasting a pretty good while, and it's pretty neat to actually watch it, you know, burn. Again, that's something I've never done, so I wanted to try it out. And it's, you know, like I've said in previous videos, folks, this is how you get out and you learn things. Is you just got to get out and do them. You know, even if it's in your backyard or whatever, you know, get out and do them. I'm fortunate enough, like I said, to have you know, a good set of woods down behind my house, and that's where my camp is. My camp is not out in the wilderness or anything like I'd like. It's down below my house, so, you know, if something were to go wrong, I'm fairly close to home. I can just, you know, pack up and head back to the house if I needed to. So, you know, that's why, you know, we get out and do these things, is, you know, test our gear, test our equipment, and get out and just, you know, be outside and be with nature. So anyway, that's what I'm kind of doing now. I've got some I got some Buffalo Trace whiskey here in my Nalgene flask that my buddy Carl got for me for our last backpacking trip back in December. He found these flasks at, I think, Cabela's, I think he said. So he picked us up a couple, myself and Sean and him. And these are 10-ounce flasks, and they're plastic. And this lid here is also a shot glass, so you can take the lid, or the cap, and take the cap off, and it's also a shot glass, but it also still has a cap on it. So you can use that as a shot glass. And I don't know if you can hear the coyotes. I don't know if you can hear that or not. Coyotes are getting fired up down along the field on the other side of the river down there. So anyway, so yeah, so I'm gonna take drink some whiskey, sit by the fire, you know, kick back, and I got a cigar too, so I'm gonna smoke a cigar, and I'll probably bring you back a little bit later, or around, you know, time I go to bed, or whatever, or something else goes on. So yeah, thanks again for watching, folks. And I said not a whole lot going on in this video, just kind of getting out and doing a wool blanket overnight. But yeah, so thanks for watching, and I'll come back with you in just a few minutes. Well, it's way late. My daughter came down for a while, and we hung out by the fire and stuff. So it's way late. So I think I'm going to try to hit the sack here and go to bed. But I thought first I would talk about a few cold weather tips, you know, to kind of keep you you know, warm in the cold weather. Now, I'm no expert on that, and like I've said before, you know, I'm no expert on really anything, but a few things. Mainly your shelter, as far as like your sleeping bag and stuff. That is your biggest, you know, your biggest thing in the wintertime. Is you definitely need a good sleeping bag. So that's what's going to keep you warm. And hear a possum over here or something. But so definitely a sleeping bag. Now for me, and the second thing is clothing. So I don't like sleeping in a lot of clothes. Now in the wintertime I'll sleep in a base layer usually, but I don't like sleeping in a jacket and pants and all that stuff other than the base layer. I don't like it. So, you know, that's why I generally have to have a sleeping system or sleeping bag that's colder for what it's rated, or, you know, what it's going to be outside. But anyway, what I found also is, you know, some people do like heat up your water bottle and put it in your sleeping bag. Now that does work. I've used that method before. Another method that I like to do is hand warmers. Hand warmers are cheap, and then I buy a big pack of them usually in the wintertime, and I just use them throughout the winter. And especially if I'm cold weather camping, I'll take a couple if it's really cold, and open them up about 20 minutes before I want to go to bed. Throw them in my sleeping bag down at the bottom, because my feet for some reason always get cold. So I'll throw them down there at my feet and let it warm up, and maybe I'll hold on one or keep one up closer to my body. But that's just some things that I've done and kind of stay warm, and obviously keep something on your head too. That's a big thing. But that's just a couple little tips there for you. I mean, for what it's worth, some people may have not tried that before, but I think the hand warmer thing is a really good thing. I like using it a lot. So I burned through a lot of my wood already tonight, so I do have some wood left, but I've burned through a lot. And I will say that this reflector over here, I call it my redneck reflector with this Reflectix, it's working really well. I'm actually impressed of how well it's working. Bouncing off the back here, I'm sweating. That's how warm I am, and it's just crazy hot. So I don't think I'm going to put my jacket on. I don't even think I'm going to sleep in my bivvy. I think I'm just going to throw my blanket over me and crawl in and kind of tuck in for a few hours, and because I got to get up in a few hours and take my daughter to school. So I've rambled on enough, so I think that's what I'm going to do is I'm going to tuck in here to bed, and I'll see you in a couple of hours, and we'll talk some more. So stay with me, and I'll be back soon. Oh. Well, good morning, folks. So it's about 5:45, and I got to get up. My wife just called. My fire's out. There's still some good coals over there, though. I can still see red coals, which is really nice. But I only went to bed a few hours ago, so I only got a few hours of sleep. Like I said, my daughter came down, and it was almost, I think she left about 2:30, so it was pretty late. But overall, I slept pretty good. It started getting cold. The temperature started dropping. Right now I think it's 41 degrees right now. Ended up putting my fleece pullover on, and but yeah, I did pretty well. This setup here works pretty well, because when I had the fire going, when the fire was really going and everything for a while, I was warm in here, but when the fire started going down and it cooled my little area down in here, I started getting chilled. So that's when I had to put my fleece on and cover up with the blanket. But but yeah, so I got to get up, take my daughter to school, and I'll come back with you and talk with you. We'll have a kind of wrap it up, I guess, and so I'll be back here shortly. Alright folks, welcome back. So I made it back down here to camp. So like I said, I had to get up this morning and take my daughter to school, so right now it's about 7:30. That front that I talked about yesterday is kind of starting to push through, so I'm starting to get a little bit of drizzling rain with maybe a little bit of sleet mixed into it. It's not going to be a whole lot. We're not going to get a whole lot of snow at all. Probably maybe a dusting, if that. But so anyway, I just wanted to get back down here and take my stuff down. I'm just going to take it down and just kind of throw it in my wheelbarrow, and just wheel it back up to my house, and I'll pack it up from there. But just kind of wanted to go over a few things really quick. The fire reflector with the Reflectix, it worked amazingly well. It really did. I was very shocked, very surprised and pleased on the same token that how well it actually works. So I'm going to use that again. You could definitely tell a difference when you got up and got out of my little area right here. You could definitely tell a difference. And like I said, when the fire started going out, I got a little chilled, so I could definitely tell that it was working. I think in a true survival type situation, I would move my fire probably a little closer. So right now, from my bed to the fire is about 6 feet. I would probably move that into about 3 feet. And that way it'd give you a little bit closer area to circulate that heat around and stuff. So, but you know, that's why we get out and do these things, or at least that's why I get out and do these things. I like to test stuff out, and you know, the stuff that I've never tried out. And I said I tried out a few new things on this little camp out and learned a few things as well. So I also thought I'd mention, you know, I talked about some tips last night for, you know, winter camping. One of the biggest things is change your socks. You know, don't forget to change your socks. Put on a clean, fresh pair of socks at night, and change your pants. I know some people like to sleep in their clothes. I don't like sleeping in my clothes, especially if I've been out working, you know, hiking or whatever all day long. I don't like getting in a sleeping bag with dirty clothes on. So I always, you know, change my clothes, and I don't sleep in my clothes, except for last night because I just, you know, had a blanket. I didn't even get in the bivvy. I didn't even put the bivvy out last night. I just threw the blanket over me. But yeah, so thought I'd mention those kind of, you know, little tips, I guess, in case, you know, nobody knew those. But anyway, folks, so thanks for watching. I'm going to let the fire continue to die out here. It's amazing, you know, the amount of firewood that you burn. If you really want to burn all night long, have a fire going all night long, you burn through a lot of wood. I'll show you the wood pile here of what I have left, and I really could have burned it all if I really wanted to, but I'll show you what I have left here in just a second. And I said there's still the bed of coals that's there is probably a good 6 inches deep in coals. I mean, it is just crazy the amount of firewood that I went through, and it wasn't even that cold. But anyway, so keep that in mind if you're going to do a winter camp out. You're going to need a lot of firewood, especially if you're going to do like a long fire or something like that. You're going to need a lot of firewood. So anyway, so yeah, folks, so thanks for watching again. Please like, share, and subscribe. You know, leave your comments down below. Have you know, wool blanket camped, or what do you like about the camping and stuff like that? I'll definitely be using this setup like here again. It really worked really well, this semi-super shelter setup. I really like this Bushcraft Outfitters Koretemp shelter half. I just recently got the poncho, so stay tuned for videos with the poncho and the shelter. So we'll be doing some videos with that later on, testing it out and stuff like that. So if you follow me on Instagram, you'll see pictures of stuff before I post it, or before I video it. You'll see pictures and all that stuff, so you'll kind of know what's coming up. But anyway, so I've rambled on enough, folks. So thanks for tuning in today. Thanks for watching. I'm going to get out of here, get this stuff taken down because the rain's starting to come in, and I'll see you on another video real soon. Get outside, get outdoors. Always remember your PPE, plan, prepare, and exercise. Always make sure you have the necessary skills to survive. Thanks again, folks. I'll see you on another video real soon.